All right, let's just jump right in. If you've got a side hustle, you know that feeling when that little envelope shows up with the Form 1099 inside. It can feel kind of scary, right? Well, it doesn't have to be. We're gonna break it all down and show you how this one little form can totally change the way you think about your side gig for the better. Because make no mistake, this is the moment. The second you get a Form 1099, your side hustle isn't just a fun hobby that brings in some extra cash anymore. Nope. In the eyes of the IRS, it is now officially a real business. So let's start at square one. The first thing you absolutely have to know is that a 1099 is not a bill. Seriously, don't panic. Think of it more like a heads up from the IRS. It's just an FYI. So what is it really? A 1099 is basically just an information slip. It's not like a W-2 you get from a regular job. This form covers all that other money you might make: freelance work, contract gigs, even cash from selling stuff online. And here's the kicker. When you get a copy, the IRS gets the exact same copy. So they know you got paid. And this right here is the biggest difference in the world. See, with a W-2 job, your boss takes out taxes for you from every paycheck. Easy. But when you're a 1099 contractor, that safety net is gone. Poof. It's all on you now. You have to figure out and pay all of your own taxes. It's a massive shift in responsibility. And that leads us to the single most important idea in this entire explainer. Getting that 1099 means you have to totally change how you think about your work. It's time for a major mindset shift. So let's just cut to the chase. When that piece of paper lands in your hands, what is the one thing, the absolute number one thing you need to get through your head? This. That's it. For all tax purposes, you're not just a person earning some extra money anymore. You are running a business, and you have got to start thinking and acting like a business owner. This one idea is the key that unlocks everything else we're about to talk about. And hey, since you're a business now, you might even want to get what's called an EIN, an employer identification number. Just think of it like a social security number, but for your business. It's totally free from the IRS website, and it really helps solidify this idea in your head. You're not just you, you're an official business. Okay, so you're thinking like a business owner. Great. Now let's talk about your new goal. The big number you see on your 1099, that's your gross income. But listen closely, that is not the number you pay taxes on. The number you're really aiming for is your net income. And this makes it crystal clear. Gross income, that's every single dollar you brought in. But net income, that's what's left over after you subtract all the legitimate costs of running your business. The whole game changes from how much did I make to how much did I actually keep. Your mission is to legally and accurately track your expenses to turn that big gross number into a smaller net number. So let's imagine your 1099s for the year add up to $20,000. Okay, that's a great start. But if you stop there, you're gonna pay tax on that entire 20 grand. But because you're running it like a business, you track all your expenses, and suddenly your actual taxable income is way, way lower. Look at that. This isn't some kind of magic trick. It's just what happens when you keep good records. That is the power of business deductions. And this is so, so important to hear. This isn't about finding shady loopholes or trying to pull a fast one. It's about paying exactly what you owe based on proof. The IRS wants accuracy, and accuracy means having the records to back up your numbers if they ever ask to see them. So how do you actually do this? How do you find that lower net income? It all comes down to one thing: mastering your expenses. Let's open up the toolkit. As a business, you get to subtract the cost of doing business. We're talking about things like mileage on your car for business trips, the supplies you buy to do your job, any equipment you need, maybe even part of your rent or mortgage if you have a home office. But here's the absolute golden, non-negotiable rule. You have to keep records. receipts, track everything. If you don't have a record, you don't have a deduction, period. Now, here's a little detail that trips up a ton of people. Tips. So many people think of them as just a little extra, a thank you, but that's not how the IRS sees it. For tax purposes, every single dollar you get in tips counts as taxable income. You have to include all of it when you're adding up your gross income. Okay, now for anyone who gets paid through apps like Venmo or PayPal, there's a special form for you, the 1099K. And you need to know that the rules for when you get one are changing. For 2024, you'll get one if you're paid over $5,000. But the IRS is planning to lower that number over the next couple of years. So a lot more people are going to start getting these. But, and this is a big but, not every payment you get on those apps is for business. Selling something or providing a service, yeah, that's reportable. But personal stuff, like a friend paying you back for pizza or your aunt sending you birthday money, that doesn't count. The platforms are only supposed to report business transactions. I know, this can feel like a lot to take in, but here's something you probably weren't expecting to hear. The IRS actually has a ton of free stuff to help you out. It's better to think of them less as a scary enforcer and more like a co-pilot on your new business journey. The first place you should go, your absolute best friend, is this website, irs.gov/smallbiz. That's SMALLBIZ. It's the Small Business and Self-Employed Tax Center, and it is loaded with tools made just for people like you. Seriously, you can find anything here. They have a whole section just for the gig economy. They explain how to pay your taxes during the year so you don't get a huge bill. There's an A to Z list of things you can deduct, free online classes, pretty much every form you could ever need. It's all there and it's all free. But what if it all gets too complicated and you want to hire someone? That's totally fine, but be smart about it. First, make sure they have an official IRS number called a PTIN. Second, if anyone promises you a way bigger refund than anybody else, run away. That's a huge red flag. And finally, make sure they'll actually be around to take your call after tax season, just in case. So let's bring it all home. That Form 1099 isn't just a tax form. It's a signal. It's the starting gun. It marks the moment you go from just earning some money on the side to becoming a real business owner. So the real question to ask yourself is this: now that you know your side hustle is a business, are you going to start running it like one?